one of the things that I find most fascinating about Tibet is how they incorporated reincarnation into their political structure naturally, because all the political structure was the spiritual structure also.
The nature of the mind doesn't have any death. So that mind, how much we train, how much we practice, how much we gain, all the experience we restore, we save to the nature of the mind. So then in this life, whatever we cultivate, whatever we do, so all these memories, all these actions, actually it imprint in that mind. So then even if we do negative karma, it imprint in the mind. Even we do positive karma, it imprint in the mind. So during the death period, we leave our body and we only carry the negative experience and the positive experience, what we cultivate in our life. Actually, Tulku means in Sanskrit like a nirmana kaya. Nirmana kaya. Nirmana kaya means taking the birth of human being for someone. Something like a nirmana kaya. Tulku means, mental thought or the reflections should be here, some deity here. So, because during the death process, our aspirations, our breathing can go from any part of the 9 holes.
Yeah, that's correct.
The 9 holes. Yeah. If from the mouth, then it is something, mouth is something open or something, from the eyes and something from the nose, anyway. So, and lower part of our physical body, we have urinary system. So if our mind, aspirations goes in that way, then this is not a good sign for the rebirth.
Yes.
So what we have to practice, we have to try to depart our conscious from here, actually. From here. So
Namaskaram everyone. This is my second full conversation with Lama Karma Purbhu of the Namo Buddha monastery in Nepal. This is a deep dive into the very fascinating reincarnation system, also called the Tulku system of Tibetan Buddhism, where a lot of the monks, especially the ones in the higher positions like Rinpoches, Dalai Lama, Karmapa, they are reincarnating back in their position one life after another. And Lama Karma Purbhu takes us through this whole phenomenon in a very step-by-step manner, so we understand a lot of basic concepts before we understand this topic. One of the things that I find most fascinating about Tibet is how they incorporated reincarnation into their political structure naturally, because all the political structure was the spiritual structure also. From what I understand, you can correct me. So I don't know if that is still the case today. The top, the Karmapas, and I think there's only one Karmapa, Dalai Lama, and is it true of all the Rinpoches also that they tend to reincarnate? So then, because of that, all those seats are basically being filled by their own reincarnations. And that's extremely fascinating, because while a large part of us, like Hindus and many other faiths, do believe in reincarnation, I don't think it is common knowledge at all that one can actually affect where they would take birth. And as far as I understand, these Rinpoches and all, they actually give instructions that they will reincarnate in a specific space, and I think the time also, at which point some of the monks start scouting around and looking at the kids, and then they even have a process of how to select them, identify. So can you talk a little bit about it? How deeply ingrained is this, and how is this?
So actually, in Tibet, especially, there is a system of tradition of reincarnation. So, but if we really see the life of the Buddhas also, but there is no the types of like somebody just recognize a reincarnation of this boy and this girl, not, but the but if you really see the Buddha's life also, so in his previous life, he has also go through the process of many rebirths. So and in the Buddha Sutra or the Jataka, we can see that Buddha has taken 1,000 times birth. The 500 birth was about animals, creatures, like a deer, tortoise and whatever, and the birds and whatever. He took the birth of that form.
Different creatures.
Because if we really train to human being, we should have a form of human. If we really train to animals, we should have a form of the animal. So, but in his lifetimes, even he took the birth of the animals, but mentally, the animals mentally was a bodhisattva. But the outside structure is animal. So in that way, 500 times animals rebirth. So 500 times a human rebirth, the total 1,000 rebirth he has got it. Then finally he attained the Buddha. So this is also like a part of reincarnation, something. So why it is like we call as a reincarnation? Because in Buddhist point of view, the body which we have right now, it can be damaged, it can be lost, it can be changed. So this body has a death, and this body has a measurement. But mainly our mind, which is connected to the body, our mind, and that mind is very brilliant, and that mind is, very wonderful. So that mind has extraordinary quality. So this mind does not have any measurement, and this mind doesn't have any length, So this mind is beyond length and measurement. So the nature of this mind does not have a death, and nature of this mind doesn't have a sickness and aging and everything. So this mind is like a sky, and our body is like a earth. So earth can be damaged anyway, burning, bumping, all everything. But the space remains as same. Similarly, in that way, our mind has brilliant quality. So such a quality, how much we develop, how much we train, that much experience we can restore in our mind. So during the period of our death, our body, when the death comes, so we leave our body, and so there is no death period for the mind actually. Actually, body and mind is connected, and death means our mind is departed from the body. So this sense we can say death anyway, but the nature of the mind doesn't have any death. So that mind, how much we train, how much we practice, how much we gain, all the experience we restore, we save to the nature of the mind. So then in this life, whatever we cultivate, whatever we do, so all these memories, all these actions, actually it imprint in that mind. So then even if we do negative karma, it imprint in the mind. Even we do positive karma, it imprint in the mind. So during the death period, we leave our body, and we only carry the negative experience and the positive experience, what we cultivate in our life with the mind. So then that mind then again take the rebirth from the someone's womb, according to my karma. Maybe in animals, maybe in the insects, maybe in the human, So, and the conscious can see everything, and because of the karma, the conscious enter through the activities of the, parents' action. So when they have sexual actions of the parents, that time the conscious enter from this, process. So then take the, again after the 9 months or something, for the women 9 months, but the animals, I don't know how much for like buffaloes and cows, maybe 6 months, 7 months, or maybe 9 months, maybe, So they can take the birth. So the birth can be according to the karma, because everybody want good birth, good rebirth. But to need good rebirth, we have to cultivate the positive actions actually. So our life circulation, our life cycles, it goes through the karma, cause and its effect. So karma, what I do mentally, physically, verbally, that's the karma. And what I do is connected to the cause. Cause is my mental level. What I think, what I want to do, whether positive, whether negative, this is the cause. And the actions comes from mentally, verbally, physically, this is the actions. And if the cause is positive and the result, its effect is, result is positive, result is good. If the cause is negative, the result is negative. So this is and it is not, in my life, the suffering, the happiness is not given by the God, and it is not a gift from someone, but it is the actions from the self situation, self condition. What it related to the mind, positive and negative, that's the cause, and the karma, what I do from it, then the results, then what I get it. So our life cycles goes in that way, and that kind of energy we taking with the mind, and we can have a rebirth. Then if in previous life something imprint good things in quality in my mind, even since the childhood, then I have extraordinary person, differently. Learning
really
style, in process, the activities, all everything go in that way. If something is imprinted negative things in my mind, even then after the birth, that child goes in interest in negative things, to kill, like spoil the life of others, and addictions and these things. Actually, our physical body, Buddhist point of view, this body is given by the support of parents, but our mental energy is not given by the parents. If the mental energy is given by the parents, then our thoughts should be same as the mental energy of the father and the mother, So, if my father is quite dullness or something, not active, but children are so active.
Yes, we can see it.
So, but the physically we can look same, but the mentally totally different. It means karmic connection of the mind is not given by the parents. It is the life cycle. It flow by the self, self reflections of the mind. It transforms next to next, next to next, and this is how we have continuous birth system, which we can say life cycle. Okay, and this happens to the Buddha also. This happens with the human being also. Maybe my previous life, I cannot say, what I was, and future, I cannot make any prediction what I will be. But it doesn't mean that I cannot say my previous life. It doesn't mean that there's no previous life. So it doesn't mean that I cannot make any decision about the future in my next life. It doesn't mean there's the next life, because I cannot remember about the previous. I cannot make any prediction about the future, because what I did yesterday I don't remember properly today. So it doesn't mean that there's no yesterday. There was yesterday, but because of my mental energy I cannot remember all. So it doesn't mean that if I do not remember about the yesterday, it doesn't mean there's no yesterday. But definitely there is yesterday, and something will be happen tomorrow. But we cannot make any predictions. But it doesn't mean there's no tomorrow. There's tomorrow. Something next life is like that. So similarly, the easy way, like example is like, okay, whatever I did yesterday is the example can be my previous life. Then whatever I did yesterday, the result I can get it today. So this can be this life. So what we do
Today.
present day or the today's world, and tomorrow I can get that result. So see, this is the same flow of like a previous life, this life and next life. So previous life and this life and next life, it doesn't mean that there's something, another world or another heaven and somewhere we have to go. It isn't like that. So everything depends in our mind. So in that way, in Tibet, same situations, in Tibet before like a 7th century or maybe 8th century, there's no Tulku system or the reincarnate system, because in
it's
Tibet
called Tulku system.
Yeah, Tulku.
It means reincarnation.
Yeah, Tulku means the reincarnation. Yeah. So Tulku is the Tibetan word.
Oh, so sometimes they call certain lamas as Tulkus. Is it because they have reincarnated? Oh, I see.
Yeah. So actually Tulku means in Sanskrit like a Nirmana Kaya. Nirmana Kaya. Nirmana Kaya means taking the birth of human being for someone. Something like a Nirmana Kaya. Tulku means. Then in Tibet, during the reign of King Songtsen Gampo, so he sent many Tibetans in India to learn the scripts and to learn about the Buddhism. So that time in Tibet, no any letters. So and many students came from Tibet and learned in India. And after they returned, then they create the scripts, alphabets, everything. So in Tibet that time there was in Tibet there was a language, but there no letter. So when they want to send the letter and they want to pass the letter, no any scripts. That's why they learn everything about the alphabet, about the vowels, about the consonants, everything in India. So the consonants and vowels is very similar in Indian tradition, in Devnagari tradition, like a ka, ka, ga, gha, nga. There's a 5, but in Tibetan, ka, ka, kha, nga, only 4. And in Devnagari there's maybe 16 vowels, a, I, something, but in Tibetan, e, u, a, o, only 4. So they don't need.
They must have simplified it because
no need everything. So they all learn and they carry it in Tibet and they make Themi Samboda, create the lipis and everything. Then the language was there, but there no scripts, but they create scripts everything. And then they some our Lokiteshvara's sutra and translate it into Tibetan. So that this is and after that so Buddhism started to spread in Tibet, during 7th century, during the period of King Songtsen Gampo. And that is the foundation level, starting point. And the actual spreading, and during the king of Tisong Deozen. During the period of Tisong Deozen, then the king invited, in Tibet, very high scholar, educated practitioner and scholar from the India, whose name was Padmasambhava and Guru Rinpoche, and then the Khenchen Bodhisattva,
Do you know their Indian names by any chance? Because I'm sure if they came from India, we would have their own, some other name for them.
Actually, Padmasambhava.
Okay.
Padmasambhava also Indian, and the Khenchen Bodhisattva, Khenchen Shivatsu also from India. So they invited to Tibet, and they built the Samye monastery. Build the Samye monastery in the first time. Then the first time for examination, then the for starting point became 7 months. Just for examine. So the 7 months become so brilliant, so educated, and they become like great translator, like something, And in Samye monastery, there is a spiritual practice, there's a department, spiritual department, then the meditation department, then the grace the practitioner department, then the translator department. So there's many department, and then the Indian master, so helped, Guru Padmasambhava helped so much to build the Samye monastery, to complete, and he spread, Guru Rinpoche spread the Tantrayana practitioner in most part of the Tibet, and through the sutra or the philosophical way, Khenchen Shivatsu or the Khenchen Bodhisattva, what he did means he trained the learners, So he trained the learners and he teach them the Sanskrit, and he himself also learned the Tibetan. So when he taught them Sanskrit, and he himself also learned Tibetan, and those they learn, Sanskrit, and many translator. He produced many translator, and they translated Sanskrit into Tibetan in Tibet. So, and this idea given by Indian master Khenchen Bodhisattva, because what he said means you translate all the teachings of the Buddha in Tibetan, because you have your own script, you have your own lipi, you have your own language. If you translate it in your own language, this will be most beneficial part in Tibet. But if you only learn Sanskrit
then
and those the limit of people, the certain area of the people, those learn only they can understand. Rest of the people cannot understand. So what you have to do? Yes, learn Sanskrit and translate into Tibetan. This will be the most wonderful in next generation. So because of his kindness, so all the teachings of the Buddha, so they able to translate it Sanskrit into Tibetan, Pali into Tibetan. Okay, because Buddha's teaching was given by in Pali language and the Sanskrit language. So mostly in the Hinayana, in the Theravada tradition, Buddha's teaching was given by the Pali language. And the Mahayana teachings, more greater teachings, is given by the Sanskrit language. So all the teachings they try to translate it into Tibetan in Tibet. This is the most actual beneficial part in Tibet. So after that also, then the Marpa Lotsawa means a translator. So Marpa Lotsawa also 3 times came to India, and total he
Is Marpa the teacher of Milarepa?
Yes.
Oh.
So Marpa also went to Nalanda University, and he came from Tibet to India 3 times. Then total he spent 21 years in India. Then he learned everything in Sanskrit, even the poetry or even the philosophy, even the tantric way or tantric education, everything. Then that teachings he invited to the Tibet. Then he translated all the teachings of the Tantrayana. So that's why one after another, even the Milarepa's student Rechungpa also came to the India, and he also invited many teachings in Tibet. So in that way, so that time in Nalanda University, so all the teachings are available. Theravada tradition teaching, Mahayana tradition teaching, and the Vajrayana tradition teachings. So all the teachings successfully able to translate in Tibet. So that's why in Tibet, what kind of tradition means actually the external behavior, external way of life go through as Theravada tradition. Then the internal way of thinking, internal way of reflections about the love and compassion, and they go through the way of Mahayana way. Okay? So then in the Vajrayana, and the Vajrayana is everything depends on the mind. So everything is the projection of the mind. So mind is so powerful. So and only associated with the mind and about the emptiness and about the clarity, and these things all associated in the Vajrayana. So practice on the Vajrayana. Okay?
Vajrayana also has the tantric element more stronger, no? Deities and tantra.
Yes. So in Vajrayana, so mostly the practice of the Vajra Yogini, Chakra Sambhara, then the all everything,
But you are saying it's more about the mind and the emptiness and...
Yes. So, the union of method and wisdom. So, these things associated in the Vajrayana practice. So, see, external, internal, more internal secret. Okay. So, external, Theravada tradition about the Vinaya Sutra, about the Vinaya Sutra means, like how to talk, how to act, how to move, how to deal with the other people, So can we kill the animals? Okay, can we harm them? Physically can harm, mentally can harm, verbally can harm? No. So this is the external way of practice in the Theravada tradition. Then no harm. Okay, no harm. Then internally, then no harm, then it can benefit. It can benefit. And that benefit practice is related to the mind, love and compassion. So this is the Mahayana practice from the internally. So then the combination of the external way of understanding, then internal way of understanding, when collectively it's more powerful, and we have an ability to know the more secret things about the mind. That's the Vajrayana. Then meditate on the Vajrayana. So in Tibet, so all the teachings of the Buddha flourish, spread, translated, all in that way. So see, there is 108 volumes of the teachings of the Buddha. But I think in 21st century in India, we cannot get in Sanskrit, all finished. I think so. Yes, definitely. And in other country, not available. But I heard in China, it's available in China. And in Tibet, it is, It is available.
It's
But
available in Tibet, or did they smuggle it out and in a Tibetan monastery?
Yeah, in Tibetan monastery, all everything. And but in China it is available. But I think not so much training and study and learning process. It is there, but not into action. But in Tibet, it is there, but it is applying into actions. So that's why in Tibet, these 3 volumes, 3 categories of the teachings spread, still alive, still preserving, So how it able? In India, finished all. But in Tibet, it is alive now. In China, alive now. But what I think is, in China, it is alive because of the monks and nuns, because they preserve it.
Preservation, yes.
If there is no monks, if there is nuns, then only the actions in the external materials way of life, then finished. So now it is still there, but few. But in Tibet, thousands of monks, thousands of nuns, they practice, they learn, they study, they preserve, whatever. That's why more commentary, more developed. That's why still in 21st century it is alive. But in India, we cannot get into Pali, we cannot get into Sanskrit, which is the source, because of the political situations, all everything, and destroy, and it finished all everything. So then after that, the tradition of the monks and tradition of the nuns also finished. Is because of that reason lost everything. This is what I think. Then mainly in Tibet, this all can happen to preserve because of the system of reincarnation, because of the system of the Tulku. Tulku is the reincarnate Lama, okay? So, during the 7th century or the middle of the 8th century, I think there is no Tulku system.
Oh.
But the Tulku system, it came from 3rd Karmapa.
So the 1st, 2nd, 3rd Karmapa were different people.
Because the first Karmapa was the disciple of the Gampopa. Gampopa was the disciple of the Milarepa.
Oh.
So Karmapa was the disciple of the Gampopa. So Gampopa has many students, and among them Karmapa is the one. So then when he passed away, then he took a rebirth of the 2nd Karmapa. Then the 2nd Karmapa, he declared, I am the reincarnate of the 1st Karmapa.
Oh, he declared
Yeah,
that.
he declared that one. So then, and 1st Karmapa's name was the Tusum Khyamba, and 2nd Karmapa's name was the Karmapakshi. So, and he declared, I am the Karmapa. Then the 3rd Karmapa, and because the Karmapa's prediction is like this, something like that, it does not mean that somebody will recognize him. Karmapa, before death, before passing away, actually he write all everything. When, which year, which family, which directions can be my birth. So this can be a certain letter. So, and after like a few years, then open it, and according to the locations, and his disciples can go and search it, something like that. Then the 2nd Karmapa Pakshi, and so 2nd Karmapa was mostly well known in China, and he became the guru of the Chinese king's empire
and
also.
that time China would be Buddhist only, like.
Yeah. So then the 2nd Karma after 3rd Karmapa. 3rd Karmapa's name was the Rangjung Dorje. So during the period of Rangjung Dorje, then he discovered he discovered the, reincarnations Lama or the Tulku, like something, oh, this boy is the reincarnate of this yogi. Oh, this girl is the reincarnated of this, girl, and something. And this is the reincarnate of this, great master. So in that way, he recognized as the reincarnation of the previous life of someone and someone and someone. So, because in Tibet there are 4 sects, 4 categories, like Kagyu tradition, Kagyu lineage, Nyingma lineage, Sakya lineage, and the Gedemba or the Gelug lineage. So among them, the Tulku system or the Tulku tradition is started from the 3rd Karmapa.
Okay.
So 3rd Karmapa recognized as the Tulku. Then in that way, so slowly, then the Tulku tradition spread in the Tibet. So then because of that, Tulku can be the head of the monastery. So he or she has a very big responsibility. What kind of responsibility? Means about the external activities of the monastic. Then the activities of the education, meditation, then the activities of to preserve the Buddha's education, these things. So he or she has that kind of responsibility. So that reincarnated Lama, like he can be like a first reincarnated Lama, then he can be the second reincarnated Lama. So in that way, he or she has that kind of responsibility because of that process, because of that activities, because of that, intuicism. So still in 21st century, Buddha's teaching is alive in Tibet. So my teacher, my guru, Thangpa Rinpoche, was recognized by 7th Karmapa. He started from the 3rd Karmapa, the Tulku system, but the 7th Karmapa, Chotak Gyatso, his name is the Chotak Gyatso. Chotak means the Dharmakriti, and Gyatso means the, Sagar. Dharmakriti Sagar. Chotak Gyatso means Dharmakriti Sagar. Okay, Sagar. Sagar is the ocean. Yeah, Dharmakriti Sagar. So during the period of 7th Karmapa, Chotak Gyatso, then he recognized that boy, was the, one of the students, one of the rebirth of the students of the Guru Padma Sambhava. So in that way, he recognized the Thangpa Rinpoche. So then the first Thangpa Rinpoche, second Thangpa Rinpoche, third Thangpa Rinpoche. Now, lastly he passed away. That was the 9th Thangpa Rinpoche. So 9th Thangpa Rinpoche. So after a few years, then 10th Thangpa Rinpoche will come.
So he has given instructions?
No, he does not give because Karmapa predict by himself, but some Tulkus recognized by the Karmapa. In Karmapa.
Right.
So in Kagyu tradition, Karmapa will recognize. Yeah. Where, which place, what is the name of the father, and that house has this kind of color, and this kind of dogs, and that much children, and father's name is this, mother's name is this, in this area, he born in this time. So all give the descriptions and get from the Karmapa, then the members can go search for him.
So the Karmapa's role is very, very important in the Tulku tradition.
Yes, yeah. But now the Tulku system is not only the Karmapa recognized, even the Dalai Lama can recognize, even the other Rinpoches can recognize it, But they started from the 3rd Karmapa. Because the 2nd Karmapa he recognized by himself. I am the reincarnate of the Karmapa. I am the reincarnation. So in that way, it spread the Tulku tradition in Tibet, and but sometimes in this time, politically, some fake Tulku, Not real Tulku, but because of some political situation, some power, fake Tulku. So sometimes there's a risk, Tulku or Tulku. Tulku means the reincarnated Lama, Tulku means illusion Lama.
Oh.
Okay? Tul means the reincarnated Lama. That's the real one, Tulku. In Tibetan, Tulku. Tul means the illusion and form of illusion. So which is real? That's sometimes is different. I mean the difficult because the political order.
But is it because like the Chinese government sets them up or something else is happening?
Not only the Chinese government, even the society.
Yeah. They want their
even
own
in our
kid to
society,
become a...
in our society.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe my child is become a Tulku, then we are so popular, this way, and go somewhere and and get the letter from someone and and please recognize on it and just signature. Oh, he is the reincarnated this Lama, but maybe that real Lama is reincarnated somewhere.
Yeah.
You cannot say, and that's another Tulku. That's the Tulku illusion reincarnate.
But so all of these Karmapa, Dalai Lama, all of them can sort it out. Like they would know, right?
Actually, they know. So some high lamas, sometimes they predict through the dream, through the dream, like that. And if there is a fake Tulku and growing, when it becomes worse and worse and worse, that's the sign, actually. So, but if he or she is also fake Tulku, but they totally study hardly, meditation, spread and benefit others is okay. So that's also the one of the activities of the Bodhisattva, because he can be the Buddha, he can be the he can be the Bodhisattva, she can be the Buddha, he can be the Buddha. Why he cannot be the Tulku? Can, but if really has a practice in the mind, it's not. And Tulku is like a part of like a certificate for him or her. Okay.
So when you were saying that everyone takes a rebirth, and the mind basically departs from the body when death happens, and that mind will again take birth. But obviously for most people, especially your memory and all those things are gone when the mind will take a rebirth. Or it may go into the subconscious, that's what they are saying. So it is still there in the mind, but you don't actually remember. Like I don't know my past birth, for example. But so then what happens in the case of these other Tulkus that are reincarnating? They have some memories left, or are some parts of the mind different?
It depends on their clarity of the mind.
How much they have evolved.
Because like I say, when they are like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years,
they can recognize.
Yeah, they can recognize, like past or something, saying something. Or, she never has been that places. But, okay, go there. And there's something, when you follow, really something there. It not happens only in the the Tibetan community and the Himalayan community. Even in the Western society also it happens. Some child, saying something and here and there, and when they go, really they found. And that's the clarity of the mind.
Yeah, it does happen once in a while that a lay person has their memory of their rebirths. And also there is that whole thing about what is it, past life regression. There is that thing that some of the people are doing where they go into some state of hypnosis and they start remembering their past life. So some people say it actually helps them get over some trauma, they find meaning in life, whatever. But it is possible for common person also, but this is different, right? Because from the Karmapa himself and all, in some way the Buddhist practice that these higher monks are doing, these advanced monks, it is helping them to kind of remain within the same situation also. Because at least earlier when Tibet was a proper country and China hadn't taken over, most of them were getting rebirth there only. So they were directing their life, isn't it? Because see, like right now if I am going to get a rebirth, I understand that my current qualities will decide the quality of my next birth. But I could be born anywhere. I could be in Australia, America, or Timbuktu. So I have no way of being part of any lineage at all because I am totally random. So all of these people, if the Rinpoche keeps reincarnating within the same Tibetan tradition, they are directing it, is it not?
I'm not sure they are directing, but because they have that kind of environment. But that Lama can be take rebirth in another country also. Because this is the actual who recognize on it. But those are not recognized also many. Bodhisattva can be many. Even in the Buddhist point of view, some bodhisattvas are inside the prostitution. You know, we cannot say it. Because some bodhisattvas can be in the imprisoned. Because knowingly she go in prison to train inside, you know.
Yeah.
But the external activities is so dangerous. He do it. Otherwise he cannot go.
Exactly.
Sometimes my guru also saying, I want to go to the prison, but nobody can take it. But I have to do something, but how I can do it, you know. Because to train something, bodhisattva can be in the prison, even in the prostitutions, even in the governor, even in the, you know, political, anyway, but not recognized as a tulku. But his or her actions can be go influentially, you know, continuously. So that's why it doesn't mean that only can take rebirth in Tulku system is only in Tibet, not like that. So can be taken in animals form, because I already mentioned, even the fish, even the crocodile, even in the deer and whatever. So, but the rebirth can be, we can think from two angles. So one, when we have a desire attachment, anger and ignorance, we must have a rebirth. And that rebirth is gaining suffering actually. But the real tradition of the reincarnate tradition, not from the desire attachment, not from the ignorance, not from the not from the anger, but this lifetime I able to benefit lots of beings, but I have to do more and more in this planet, in this universe, in this area. So to benefit, so I should be a form of human again. So the mental preparation is connected with the love and compassion. So rebirth can be, one angle is from the love and compassion. So those have a rebirth from the love and compassion, and that can be the bodhisattva. That can be the reincarnate one. You know, even he's reincarnate, somebody is recognized as reincarnate, also is okay. If not recognized or no any certificate also, but the quality in his mind, in her mind, but definitely he or she can do. No need to point it out, you are the reincarnation of this and that. Because all the quality, whenever there is a seed, every sufficient things is gathered there, then the trees and fruits will come automatically, isn't it?
Yeah, that is true. But then also looking at it from that Tibetan, the structure of the Buddhist tradition, there are certain seats that these Rinpoches are filling, right? Like you are talking about your guru also. So if he goes and reincarnates anywhere else, wherever he wants for his requirement, then the seat will be empty, isn't it? Then how?
Seat will be empty. No. So he can be the 10th Thanggu Rinpoche. You know, 10th, 9th, 10th. So Karmapa will decide, you know, when and how. Then we the members go and search it and bring it in this monastery same.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say, that for these seats to be filled, that same person has to reincarnate and he has to come and fill the same seat. So does it happen a lot of times that certain Rinpoches don't end up reincarnating within?
So there's the ending point of reincarnation also.
Yeah.
Yes. So now Karmapa is the 17th Karmapa, and he has a prediction. He has a prophecy. But which times, then the one of the great master So his reincarnation can be till 21 or 24.
Oh,
So after that, no reincarnations.
for him.
And some high lama, after reincarnated, so this is my last life. So nobody can recognize,
Afterwards.
this, this is the Tulku of previous this lama. Nobody, and there's agreement. Even the in Nyingma tradition and Chatra Rinpoche, very high practitioner, very high practitioner. So even the age of like 85, 88 also, he carried the luggage, and he walked, in even the isolated area, and he meditated. So he passed away maybe the age of 100 or 101. So a few years back. So he mentioned there will be no any reincarnation of my life. So somebody will stop it. So it means the certain time how much I can do it, and I'm go for it. Practitioner have some sort of that kind of appointment. So my guru Thanggu Rinpoche, so this time he never mentioned in that way. This is my last reincarnation.
Okay, so he will
So
come.
that's why he will come.
Nice. Then you may be able to meet his next reincarnation.
Yeah.
The Jetsen Tanzen Palma has written in a book because the Rinpoches he was close with, he reincarnated. So she has written a small thing about her, how she could relate with the new younger person. It was pretty interesting. But so it's only these seats, the Rinpoche, Karmapa and the Dalai Lama seats who are reincarnating, or the others also? You mentioned, no? Others also sometimes are reincarnating. But then there are no specific practices which these Rinpoches and all are doing to kind of be able to reincarnate like this.
Sorry?
Aren't there any specific spiritual practices, like maybe not the specifics, but vaguely, do you know what practices they do? Because I had heard, like, I've seen some documentary or something, they say that when they go to the last, to the death, right, the deaths are not like normal folks, right? They're not random, they know. So then they either go into some samadhi state and then they will leave. Or some things will happen over there. So are there some processes that are happening?
Yeah. So, because in the Vajrayana tradition, actually, because our body is associated with the 5 element, so external 5 element we have heat, cold, and the earth, earth, water, then the fire or sun, and air, and space, 5 element. The internal 5 element we have our flesh is the earth element, and our urine, our blood circulation is the water element, and our heatness is the fire element, and our breathing is the air element, and we have 9 holes, 9 pores, and there's thousands of stomata, the pores in our body. There's a space element actually. So external element and internal, these 5 elements are interconnected with each other. So our body is created or made in that way. So our death process, when we have a death process, so our death process also go in that way. So our our earth element dissolved to the water element dissolved to the then the fire element to the air element, then air element to the space element. So see, when we're aging, so we cannot hear properly, we cannot see properly. That is the dissolving process of the earth element actually. Then after that, when we eat, we have lots of, it's not the spit. What is when we are aging? It comes from here. It goes like a children, like a watering. It comes from water.
And even urination, you have no control and all such things.
This is
the water element.
This is the water element is something going something wrong, So showing the process and then when this steps goes step by step. Then at the end, when our air element dissolves to the space element, then when it dissolves to the space element, then we have a problem with the breathing.
Okay.
We have lots of problem. We have lots of problem about the breathing. So this is the process of the dying actually. So, but there's a many practice while death. What kind of preparation we have to prepare when we are young? We have to practice on it. We have to meditate on it, because when we breathe out and breathe in, so actually breathe out is the sign of dying actually, and breathe in is the sign of living actually. So dying and living is the interconnection actually. So the practitioner, if living so happy, then dying unhappy. Why? Because these two things are interrelated each other. So why one have a happiness mood and one has a sadness and unhappiness mood? Why need? Because I need happiness mood is the desired attachment. I don't want the unhappiness mood is we are rejecting. So one is pulling, one is pushing. So this is not the right way of cyclic life of cycle. So they want to see in balance. So that's why they practice about the death. So then when the process of death coming, so what kind of motivations, what kind of thought, what kind of meditation, what kind of visualizations need that time. Even they are going the death process, but they are meditating. They are meditating. But we, the normal people, we shocked. We will have lots of fear. Please save me. Please protect me. I don't want to die. I have these things. I have that things. I have that things. These things. So this mental situation, took over my life into bad situation. So because that time, if we have our mind is associated with the anger and desire attachment, and that imprint gets to go together. But instead of that, love and compassion and practice and samadhi, something, and the meditation process is there, then our mental thought or the reflections should be here, some deity here. So because during the death process, our aspirations, our breathing can go from any part of the 9 holes.
Yeah, that's correct.
9 holes. If from the mouth, then it is something, mouth is something open or something, from the eyes and something from the nose, anyway. So, and lower part of our physical body, we have urinary system. So if our mind, aspirations goes in that way, then this is not the good sign for the rebirth. So what we have to practice, we have to try to depart our conscious from here actually, from here. So, and most best part is from here. So then the practitioner, they practice the poa. Poa means the transformation, transforming practice. So they visualize, they practice as the poa from here, when they practice. Then when the death comes, it means some practitioner, when the death comes, they smile. All these students are crying and these things, but the guru is saying, okay, my death is coming, and I'm inviting new fresh life, not aging, not this sickness body, but I'm inviting new fresh life. You have to be happy while you are crying. The practitioners say in that way. But we, the ordinary people, please get to the hospital right now. I don't want to die. But the practitioner doesn't say in that way. So, and the medical way, if this, death. So if there is no any sense, then they declare as a death. But in Vajrayana Buddhism, so at least body can be at least remain for 3 days. Because why? What we can see, what we can hear, what we can feel, what we can touch, what we have a feeling, that kind of sensations is not there. That's the death, actually external part of death, you know. But the subtle level of mental conscious, the practitioner, even meditating internal secret part of meditation, which is very subtle.
Yes, yes.
So he or she is still meditating there. Because of that meditating, his or her body, maybe 3 days, 4 days also, smelling.
It doesn't rot.
And you know, for a few days also it keeps warm.
Yes.
Because of the internal practice is going on there. Then even in the some days die this way, some day meditation form, whatever. But this, and because of that practice, and before that, if we just cremation, we do like this, it is the same as we kill the, we kill the some person, something, because internally alive something. Then after left the meditation or something, then it goes like this or like this. Then yes, this is the process of the death process. So the real purpose in Buddhism is at least not to have any fear during the death process. That's the first step of the Buddhist practice actually. It doesn't mean that I have this quality, but this is how the process is there.
It's very interesting because so part of this is like local culturally known. Like for example, we always talk about the Antim Gati, you know, the going in the last moment is extremely important, that you go well when you're dead. And also like the local, like my mother for example, I remember when my uncle had passed away, she could see from where he had passed away, you know, from his face, I think his eyes were open. So he was like, he passed from the eyes, which is good. And I didn't understand anything. I was very small. I was like, what are you talking? Because but so some of this knowledge is there in the culture, at least Indian culture. I'm sure Nepal and Buddhist also culture. But from there, of course, I guess to be able to, when you do a lot of practices and you are strongly on your spiritual path, you can actually just ensure that your passing is good, is actually good. And I think a lot of what the gurus say is that you ensure each and every moment of your life you are a certain way. So that moment of death also you are the same way, and thus you will have a good passing because you are already always in that state. That seems to be the thing. But however, it is still really interesting, right? Because this knowledge is still available even in Indian culture and Tibetan, Nepal, everywhere. But no other tradition has started this Tulku system, which is, as you were saying, it is so interesting. And as you mentioned that the whole Tulku system is what led to a lot of preservation and a lot of longevity of that religion and culture and spiritual tradition. That is very interesting.
Yeah. So sometimes in Buddhist philosophy, it says our body is like a guest. Our body is like a guest house. Okay? My body is like a guest house. My conscious, my mind is like a guest. Okay? For example, you travel all over the world. And you are changing lots of the guest house. One guest house, second guest house, third guest house, fourth guest house, five guest
changing.
And finally you are at Namo Buddha's guest house, monastery's guest house. So, and you left all the guest house, but you are in the form of another guest house. So, you are inside this Tulku monastery's guest house. You are inside the Tulku monastery's guest house. So, what you left, many guest house, is your death body. Okay? Your death body.
Many bodies.
And second guest house is your second life, and third guest house is third life. finally you are at Namo Buddha's Tulku guest house, and Tulku guest house, you are inside the Tulku guest house, and Tulku guest house is your present body. Okay, Tulku guest house is your present body, and you are inside the guest house. That's your present mind or the present conscious. So similarly, you don't have any worry. You left many guest house. You don't have any worry, but you are now in the new guest house, in new places. You know, with having your same motivation, with having your same mental factor, and you are in another guest house. Something like that. We left many guest house, but right now you are in another guest house in new places. Similarly, we leave our many body, death body. That's like the guest house, and
same leaving this body.
Leading in that way. Then finally we can have one birth and one body, and with the conscious, and that body is the new guest house, and new guest house has a that conscious. You know, something. So we don't need to worry about, leave behind our guest house. So similarly, the practitioner think that to leave this body, so thinks in that way, and inviting new guest house.
Right. Yeah.